How to Sew Guy Stuff. William Hovey Smith, 2013. I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and I make some of my own outdoor equipment.
This is Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman. And today I'm going to show you actually how to sew. And the reason for this is that, well, a lot of guys just don't know. And if you're an outdoor guy, or want to be, sooner or later you are going to have to repair cloth. And to do that, the most convenient and permanent way is to actually sew it up with some good synthetic polymer threads. The materials that we use, canvas is good, and this is some I salvaged from the Dempsey dumpster. Yeah, it was on an old screen. These are badge holders. I go to many conventions. They issue me one of these at each convention. And so, although they're nice things in themselves, I have a bunch of them. So I salvage components from them. In particularly, the Velcro strips and some of the pockets. This is an old piece of sling that is all right in itself. But I've got several others that work even better. Well, all right. And you burn the ends here so they seal. All right, now we are also using this synthetic material here, which is a type of foam, but it's very tear resistant. So I made up a form to actually hold the hatchet, and I'll show you a picture of it. And I wrapped it in canvas, like you see here, and pinned it up prior to sewing. So this gives me some shapes that I can sew to. And since it's already pinned up, yeah, the sewing goes pretty fast once you have it in a shape like this.
Here is the interior foam lining for the hatchet.
We used some of this fiberglass reinforced strapping tape to hold the foam together in a preliminary shape, and that further reinforces the work. Now you could have also used masking tape. Okay? And we are going to salvage the Velcro strips from here and sew them on just like we did on this other hatchet, and use that to actually close it. The thread is a polymer thread. All right, this is a good strong thread. It's stronger than cotton thread by a long shot. And we also use a particularly heavy needle. Usually needles like this are available as a part of a set of assorted size of needles that you can pick up very inexpensively, say down in the crafts part of Walmart. Now the resulting work can be something like this holster, okay? Or it could be tents, it could be covers, it could be any number of other things that you need to sew up or custom make or repair. I've made blinds, for example, that a guy could sit in out of canvas. I've made covers for boats out of canvas. Many other things. So this is something that anybody can do. All right, I'm going to move the camera up and show you some of these stitches. And I'll show you 3, which will be enough to get you by. The first I'll illustrate is a straight stitch. It goes blah, 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 through the work. All right. The other is called whipping. Now, in whipping, you take the needle and you go over something like this, and you progress like in a spiral shape. Then there is a lock stitch, where you actually take the needle and pass it through a loop and cinch, so you have a lock point in your line of stitching. So that's why you use those. So now we'll show you exactly how it's done. We've recovered the items that we're going to use. Now these are the 2 Velcro strips from the badge holder. All right. And these are, of course, the 3 straps that I've cut from the old sling. Okay. About the sewing itself, I have completed this line of stitches here. So we're going to put a lock on this one. And the way you do that is you take the pin, you run it through the cloth like this. Okay. Then you loop it back through the loop like yay. Pull it all tight. All right. Then go back through the knot again. And this gives you a lock on that. So all right. We've even reversed it. All right. So now that will hold. And we have our handy little pocket knife here to cut the thread. But we're going to have to rethread the needle. Now, for us older folks, this can be part of a challenge. Yeah. This is the reason that large-eyed needles are very useful. So this one does have an unusually large eye for a needle. So we'll see if we can get it started here. Yeah, yep. So you see it's taking the thread. All right, and you get you, about yay much will do. And cut it. Okay. And you take the ends of your thread and you just put an overhand knot in it. Like yay. So now you have a knot in the thread right there. If you're fastidious, then you can trim the excess off. Okay. And we're going to sew this edge right here. Now what we have are 2 layers of canvas, one on the front, one on the back, and between them we have our foam material. So this is where we'll use a whip stitch. And to get it started, your needle through the cloth, the top layer, goes very simply. You come and you loop the thread like this. Okay, that gives you a lock, and that's where you start. And you pull through and you proceed to do a spiral kind of thing like this. And go on down the work. Okay, we're about running out of thread. All right. I'm going to do this one up good here. Because we're going to have to rethread the needle and start over and finish this line of stitching. Things have now progressed to the point that we have several lines of stitching. Now, this is the typical straight stitch right here, blah, 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 blah. And we have whipped up this edge right here with a spiral stitch. Right now, I'm working on the back. Now here I'm penetrating 2 layers of foam and about 3 or 4 layers of cloth, plus 2 layers of fiberglass reinforced tape. And I am starting the needle sew here. Then going ahead and taking a pocket knife and pushing it through the work like this. And this takes a lot of stress off the fingers. You can actually puncture your fingers if you try to push too hard with these needles, particularly if your skin is soft. So once you've pushed almost all the way through, then you reverse the work and pull cleanly through from the inside, and then reverse the stitch by doing the same in the opposite direction. Just like so. Another area where this whipping and lock stitch is used is here at the bottom. Now this is a hole, of course, where the handle protrudes, and it's useful to cut down on abrasion and go about half a dozen stitches or so with your whipping, because this is a very loose stitch and will become unraveled. And go ahead and about every 5 or 6 stitches put in a lock stitch. We have proceeded with 2 lines of straight stitching here and here on the cover. Now you'll notice that this edge has been turned, so the rough cut edges of the fabric are protected on the inside on both cases, because this is exposed and they will tend to fray otherwise. And I'm about to stitch in the Velcro closures. We're now at the last stage of sewing, and this is attaching these straps. And we're indexing the straps the same distance from this top line here. Okay. Then putting a line of stitching on the bottom, a line of stitching on the top, and then doing an X of stitching between the corners. We have completed our sewing demonstration using these hatchet sheaths as examples. But you could sew up almost anything you can conceive of, including blinds, tents, stools, boat covers, or anything else. And also clothing, by the way. But we wanted to talk about guide kinds of things that you might sew. So if you need it, if it's cloth, yeah, you can probably make it. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.
Besides backyard deer hunting, I have other books like Crossbow Hunting, Extreme Muzzleloading, and Practical Bow Fishing, and all of these are available as softcover and ebooks. I have an 8-book ebook series on muzzleloading guns out in 2013-14, and the most recent title is Hunting Big and Small Game with Muzzleloading Pistol. I have other videos about sewing, including making a hunting stool that I very often use. For more info on my books, blogs, and videos, go to my website at www.hoveysmith.com. Now, these books make outstanding Christmas gifts, too. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.